My name is Jane Caddick, and today, as part of my Forest School Level 3 Portfolio Unit 2, I'm going to show you how to make a Shamen stick. I'm going to need a stick. Now with the children, you could just send them off and say, go and find your own stick, find one that you really like, so that it makes it completely unique to them. And I'm also going to need some elderwood. And the reason I've chosen elderwood is because it has a soft pith in the middle which you can poke out, and it will create a hole which is perfect for making beads with. And so I'm going to show you how to cut that. Now, I've got a mixture here. I've already cut these. I left some bark on one of them and I took the bark off another. And there are two ways of doing that. You can either, if you want to have the bark taken off completely, remove it before you cut it, like that. Or you can cut your beads and then you can have the satisfaction of peeling it off individually, which is quite fun. So, again, it's choices. You're leaving the choices up to the children, but giving them the wherewithal to do it. So now I'm going to use my saw. I need my glove. I'm going to use my folding saw for this. And I'm going to show you how I would cut my bead. Once you've cut as many beads as you need, you then need to create a hole in your other stick. And I'm going to use a palm drill for that. And I'm going to rest it on here. And I'm going to go through the middle to create a hole. So, probably about an inch down from the top. Push down and twist. Really good activity for developing coordination and strength. So it's fine motor skills as well, particularly when it comes to the threading later. And of course, it's developing their imagination as well. Hole in there now. And the next thing I'm going to do is to cut some string. Now, as you can see from the one I made earlier, I used some sort of horrible plastic string, but I chose this because I like the colour. But you could use wool, you could, like I'm doing here, you could use some hemp string, or if you have already got some or you would like to make some, you could try making some nettle cordage, which is another skill entirely. So, string. I'm going to be using my knife for cutting this. Need 2 pieces, fairly reasonable length. So, take the length you want, fold it back on itself, and working away from your body and making sure that you haven't anyone else in your blood bubble, you cut your string like that. So the length you want it to be, fold it in half and push away. Now I'm going going to thread these through the hole that I made in the top of my stick. And I'm going to do that by using my palm drill again to help me. I just fold, I lay that across there and use the palm drill to just push it through the hole. I'm just going to twist it a little bit as I try and push it in there. You should see it will come through the other end. Got it. There's one. And repeat the process with the second one. So lay it across the hole and push it in with the palm drill. Sure that one went through. So, one more try. Across. And push it in until it comes through the other side. See that one. Two. Oh. Well, that's what it's all about. It's about perseverance and trial and error. I'm going to cut myself another piece of string. Glove on. I'm lucky. Right. So, fingers crossed. There it is. Right. So I've got my string through the top, and now I'm going to thread my beads on. Now, that one I cut earlier, as you can see, that has still got its pith in there, and I need to take that out. So I'm going to use a skewer that I've got, and I'm just going to push it through, and you'll see how soft that pith is. Look, it just pops out really easily. Creates a hole, like a little bead. I've decided on mine I'm going to have 2 without the bark and 2 with the bark. But again, it's entirely up to the individual how they want to do it. It's their choice. So fold it in half, the end. That's because I'm getting rid of the frayed end. If I try to poke the frayed end through there, it will probably just unravel and make it harder. So by just folding it in half, just makes life a little bit easier. And I'm just twisting it through there. You can see how wonderful this is for the fine motor skill development in children, and the skills as well. I mean, I'm now going to create a knot in the end here, fold it back on itself because I need it to be quite a thick knot because that's a big hole there. So just doing an overhand knot on the end. Check, is that going to stay? If it's going to pull through or you think it's pulling through, that's fine, you can just do another knot. So, judgment. There. So, on the other side, repeat the process. Hold it back on itself. Twist it until it pops through. Fold it back. I'm going to embellish mine with feathers. But again, the wonderful thing is the children might have found a lovely flower they like. It could be that they have found a snail shell, or they have found a gorgeous leaf that they've fallen in love with, and they want to add that to their stick. That's absolutely fine. It's completely up to them. Now, I'm going to add my bead first, and you'll see why. Stay there. Doesn't come through too easily, that's all right. I've got a tool to help me. I just use my skewer. Now, I swear. Oh, that's blowy. Thank you. I'm going to tie my feather onto the end of my string. So I'm just doing secure it. To put the end of my feather into the bead and pull it up like that. So I'm going to have one on the other side, so just take the feather or whatever you want to put on there, tie it on. Shamen stick. Now, one last thing I could say is the children might be happy to just leave it like that, or if you want to, you can actually embellish it further. You could whittle some of the bark away, and you could use a permanent marker pen and you could do a design on it. You could use your knife and you could carve a design into it if you wanted to. It really depends on the age of the children and how imaginative and how keen they are, but this is perfectly okay.